Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. Merry Christmas to all. Hope everybody's having a great day today. You already know what it is. You already know what it do. One time for the fan. Back talking Falcons football, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and so much more. Of course, you know we're here with the great T. Will.
How you doing?
Shout out to T. Will, former ATL Sports. One time for the fan. Big shout out to Bodie. Big shout out to Miss
Hey,
Carrie. Big shout out to all the fans in the chat, all you diehard Falcon first place fans. Y'all are
first
just
place,
great.
Jack.
Y'all
First,
are just great. So amazing. See the smiles on our face. Get ready for this exciting show getting ready to happen here on One Time for the Fan. T. Will, how is everything going on with you, sir? Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas to you, Jack. The best podcast. Well, you know what? The best mentor. I'll put it
Hey,
that way. I don't want to, but the best podcast mentor that I know. You have been great. We started in February, and you have helped me grow. And I can't do anything but say thank you, brother. Merry Christmas to you. I know I thank you every show, but I'm gonna thank you anyway for this Christmas edition, man. I'm doing well, and it's been busy, man. It has been busy. How are you doing? How you
man,
doing?
I am
I
doing
know you've been
great.
working. You've
Oh
been
man,
really working.
I have, but did get a chance to get a couple of days off, so this is good, and I've been getting a lot of rest too as well. So my job requires a lot of hard work, and I'm just glad to have these days home, man. So big shout out to all the Falcon fans here in the chat. I'm sure a lot of y'all had a great day today with your family and your friends. Now you get a chance to sit over here and
Notice something?
listen to some One Time for the Fan. What's up, T. Will?
You notice something? Do you notice? Do you
The
notice?
new Falcons mug you have right there? I
I
see.
got this from my oldest daughter. And so I told her I would plug it. I was like, thank you. Thank you. I got it first thing this morning. That's like it's funny. The older you get, it's the simple things, right? Like me, I'm not, you know, I'm not really hard to, you know what I mean? Like anything Falcons, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
bro, every time I do a podcast, I can sit up here and drink whatever. Like, oh, Mariah's with
What's in the mug is what we want to know, Terry.
do you really though? No, it's peppermint tea. I'm old, man. I'm old.
Okay, okay.
I'm
Well,
old.
I'm sipping on some Tito's over here, so big shout out to
Get your Tito's on, man. Get your Tito's on.
hey, big shout out to the Tito's handmade vodka, straight
Amen.
from Austin, Texas, man. Gotta love this shit, man.
Man. We gotta do some housekeeping. What up, Smooth 78? What up, D? What up, Dan Burst?
Chat is live, chat is lit. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's talk about quickly here how the Falcons got to first place, Terry. Um,
Sunday. And first I gotta respond to Lisa. Yes, Miss Lisa. I have been busy. I've been it's been a crazy couple of 2 weeks. I've been getting shows in every day. So you're right. Jack, I don't know if you
had a
know.
great show last night with the Water Boys.
Yeah,
Don't
we got
you?
the Water Boys on, man. It did. Hey, man, they were great. They were great. They were hilarious. They were funny. They were absolutely who I thought they would be and more. They are hilarious. Anyway, and thank you to the Water Boys, and thank you to Chris A1. Chris A1, man, that's my guy. That dude's always coming through for me, man. And look at if Chris A1 is not doing your video's not getting done. All right, shameless plug. So,
Big shout out to A1 saw him at the game Sunday, man. Falcons big win over the Giants too as well.
yeah.
Um, we talked about this the other day, Terry, with how the Falcons could regain first place going into Sunday's game. And of course, one team we did not want to sit here and root for did their job Sunday night, the Dallas
Oh,
Cowboys.
what a game. What a
So
game.
that right there had, I know a lot of Falcon fans on edge because you saw the Cowboys kind of look like they were getting ready to run away with the game, and the Bucks making their comeback late into the game too as well. And I mean, back and forth, man. You got to get a chance to see some good football there Sunday night. But the Cowboys come away with a win. Falcons did their job handling the Giants. Big shout out to Michael Penix too as well in his first career
Yes.
start and win too as
Yes.
well. So big shout out to Michael Penix. Terry, but let's go straight to it, man. Michael Penix against the Giants, man. How was he looking from where you were watching the game. I was at the game Sunday, so of course, on the sidelines, man, with the fans, cheering and just so passionate about the team at this point in the season. Everybody had a great time down there in my section. But how was you? How was it looking from where you were, Terry, watching the game?
The kid looked great, man. He's poised. He delivered it on time. It had velocity. It had zip. He avoided sacks. There was a couple of times. One time he threw it away. Another time he threw it at the feet of a receiver and kept us from losing 5 or 6 yards. Played a flawless game, really. Maybe you don't make that pass with 9 seconds left, because even if Kyle catches it, if he doesn't score, we run out of time anyway. But outside of that, Penix played great. Again, poised, great arm, delivers it on time. The kid also has touch. He knows when to zip it in there and when not to, and just did a great job, man. Just did a great job. Excellent. What a debut. The defense again got 3 sacks. Special teams again got somewhat of a block punt. I think this was the most complete game that we saw, and it should have been. The Giants are not exactly world beaters, but hey, we did what we were supposed to do. And now we have the thriller in Manila. We got to go to Washington, and we got Jaden Daniels versus Michael Penix in the Dan Quinn / Raheem Morris Bowl. And hey, man, it's all hands on deck. Look, it is Sunday night prime time. Is there anything better? It is Sunday night. This is our fifth primetime game?
Falcons, the game was flexed for those fans that did not know. I guess it was supposed to be Dolphins, Browns, I guess, around this time slot. Game was flexed right after the Falcons beat the Raiders, and now we have another primetime game. Earlier this season, of course, you guys saw Kirk Cousins, but due to his play on the field, he has been benched. Michael Penix Jr. now takes over. Big first career win for Michael Penix. Now he gets a chance to go up against, like you said, Jaden Daniels. Sunday Night Football, Raheem Morris versus Dan Quinn, two coaches that definitely know each other very well. But it's just going to be a little bit different this time around. I must say, for all the fans traveling out there, definitely want to wear your bring all your winter gear. Just be prepared for any rain too as well. It's definitely going to be a cold night in Washington. But the Falcons, if you go in there prepared like how you went in there against the Raiders, like how you went in there against the Giants, like how you went in there against most of those teams that you played and won against this season, you can come away with a win. But still, Terry, it's close in the NFC South, man. And we talked about this earlier this season on One Time for the Fan. We didn't want to get down to this final 2 games where you have to hope another team wins, you have to hope another team loses and all this other stuff just for you to make the playoffs. But it seems like that might be the case because even with the way the Carolina Panthers have been playing recently, that it's possible that, Terry, they can come away with the win Sunday against the Buccaneers. But if you look over there against the following week, the New Orleans Saints, they just got demolished against the Green Bay Packers the other night. Yeah, I don't think you want to count the Saints in for that final game of the season to beat any team. I think they're done for the year. I think they're already focused on Cancun. So it's really big that a team could come away with a win over the Bucs on Sunday. Terry?
They suck. They really do. They suck. The Saints are awful. And maybe it shouldn't, but doesn't it just warm your heart a little bit when your mortal enemy is just terrible? Like, don't you just? Am I being petty or? Come on, fans in the chat. You guys know your day goes a little better when you see your mortal division rival, bitter enemy, when you see that they suck, when you see the state of their sad, decrepit, and desolate franchise. They're literally decaying in front of our eyes. Okay, maybe
just to see the headline Sunday that says the Atlanta Falcons winning over the Giants, the New Orleans Saints are now eliminated. Just made me feel a little bit better about Sunday.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. My day got better.
Sheesh.
Anyway, the Saints suck, so we can't count on them to beat the Bucs. But look at the Panthers are playing better, so there's an opportunity. But Jack, look it, we got to earn it, right?
We got to go in there Sunday night and earn it.
We have to go and earn it, And if you can't win your way in, you don't deserve to be there. What up, Ryan? What up, Ryan the historian?
Big shout to Ryan in the chat, Lisa Shepard in the chat, Smooth Steve in the chat, Yuri's in the chat, Wallace Smith is in the chat. Chat is live and lit tonight. Merry Christmas to all. Terry?
What up, Wallace? Yeah, man. Jeff Wolf in there, Falconator in there, DSGB in there, my boy A1, Wallace Smith, Yuri. Yuri's probably eating a steak right now, Jack. He's
He
eating a
said Tito's need to go ahead and get Jack
right
that deal already, man. We sipping, man. We feeling good, man. First place Falcons. For those that were doubting the Atlanta Falcons at this point in the season, saying season's over, go ahead and hand it to the Bucks. Falcons going to finish this season with a fight. They're going to finish the season with a bang. Do I see them going in there Sunday night and getting a win? Any game is possible. Any win is possible. It's going to be a tough one with Michael Penix. I know a lot of people was probably expecting Kirk Cousins return home back to Washington to go ahead and get a couple touchdown throws in there, but it's not going to be happening. It's Michael Penix Jr. leading the way. And I must say the way that he played on Sunday, like you said, Terry, he was patient. He was poised in the pocket. He knew when to get the ball out. He knew when to deliver the ball. He went through his adjustments and his reads pretty well. The interception, of course, is not really on him. But you saw a quarterback that I think has, done a good job for the past, 13, 14 weeks sitting there behind Kurt.
Yep.
I mean, I know it's a 2-win team with the New York Giants, but you never know what could have happened on Sunday if Penix was playing bad. The Giants would have went in there and tried to steal a win. So you got to give it to Michael Penix in the camp, right? You got to give it to the group for what they did out there on Sunday. But I saw a quarterback that he's still a rookie, right? So we're not going to put everything on him to say, hey, man, this is a big game for him and this is like a playoff game for him. No, the Giants game was like a warm-up for him, which is why I was hoping they would have played him in the Raiders game to give him at least a 2-game head start if you knew he was going to get ready to play him for the rest of the season, because that Commanders game on Sunday night is going to be pretty tough. I mean, the Commanders have kind of revamped their fan base with, Jaden Daniels being the quarterback now, and they got some weapons over there, of course, with Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury, OC. But they got some weapons over there to look for offensively. And of course, defensively, still have some studs over there you have to watch out for. But this Falcons defense, I think, has been playing very well over the past 3 to 4 weeks. And we can go in there and steal a win. We have to make it tough on Jaden Daniels Sunday night, right? Everybody's talking about Penix, the second career start going up against Jaden Daniels, and how much success Jaden Daniels has had this season. Falcons defense has to go in there and make it a little bit more difficult for him this week. I mean, he's never played a team like this Atlanta Falcons team all season. So this could be a big one for us too as well. Both teams fighting for playoff spots. So that's why you see this Sunday night matchup. And, I just want to give it to the Falcons for making that move to put Penix out there. If it was late in the season how they did it, I understand. But, we have to go out there and try to get to the playoffs, man. If Michael Penix is going to be that guy, then take us the rest of the way, Mike. So big shout out to Mike on that big one Sunday. But Terry, NFC South, man, it's getting tight. Falcons, Bucks, Saints are done, Panthers are done. Just your thoughts so far along this stretch of the way, Terry. Only 2 more games left.
Is this thing on?
Sheesh.
Thing on? Ladies and gentlemen, this is my impersonation of Gene Hackman from Crimson Tide. They're on a sub in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and Gene says, excuse me, shipmates. I understand that we're all a little stressed. We're all a little worse for wear. Listen, if you feel yourself being stressed out and it's too much pressure for you, get off the plane. I'm sorry, get off the boat. Look it. You want it, Jack? It's there. You got to earn it. If you can't earn it, you don't deserve it, period. So whether this is game 5 or game 16, let's go. This is football. This is what you want, Jack Spade. This is what you want. Okay? This is everything. This is Ali versus Frazier. Okay? This is Steelers versus Cowboys. This is Red Sox Yankees. This is it, man. This is it. This is the Dan Quinn, Raheem Morris Bowl for all the marbles. Let's go. We don't have time to be tepid. We don't have time to be, we're here. We're here, Jack. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. We got to get in there and kick some ass. This is what's going down. We're going to get in there. We're going to show Jaden Daniels who's boss. We're going to get 4 sacks because we've gotten 4, 3, and 3. So we're due for 4. We're going to get 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. Falcons win it. 35-20. Book it. Let's go.
35-20 in Washington Sunday night. That'd be a nice little
Damn
Christmas
right.
present for Falcon fans.
Damn right. We're gonna kick the door in, Jack. We're gonna kick the dog on the way out. I'm gonna steal a bottle of wine as I'm leaving, and I'm gonna look back at him and say, "It's funny you even thought you had a chance." And I'm gonna throw him the deuces, and I'm out. 35-20. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go, Jack. Let's go, Jack.
The Falcons could lock it up this Sunday. Falcons win, Buccaneers loss.
Yes.
Carolina, if you have one fighting bone left in your body, this Sunday is the way to show it. Up there against Tampa Bay.
Jack,
I know we've kind of.
I'm gonna need you to be a little more excited, Jack. I'm gonna need some more energy.
I'm just saying, I know we kind of ratted on Carolina all season, about how bad they've been, but as of late,
I'm gonna need some more energy. I'm gonna need some.
They showed a little bit more of a fighting chance that they actually look like they want to finish the season with some pride.
You're not giving me energy, Jack. I need some energy. Take a swig of the Tito's, man. Take it.
Gosh.
Look it. Jack, this is week 17, right? This is for all the marbles. I need you to speak into that mic and let these people know what's going down this weekend. Now let's go. Take 2. Let's go.
I tell you what's going down this weekend, man. The Atlanta Falcons going in there to handle business Sunday night against the Washington Commanders. So it doesn't matter what happens around the rest of the NFL. The Falcons finna go in there and handle business against whatever that team is out there in Washington, man. But I'm telling you right now, if there is a fighter's bone in Carolina's body Sunday, and you just want to add to it, because the Falcons will handle business Sunday night. But early in the day, if you just want to go ahead and just take care of the Bucs, so that way we already know that things are going to be looking up for us. That would be great too as well. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. You see the division standings right here on the screen. Falcons 8-7, Bucs 8-7. Terry.
Yes, sir.
You got to look at both sides of the fence here too as well.
I understand.
Let's say the Falcons. Let's say the Bucs lose to the Panthers Sunday.
Okay.
And I'm not just throwing, salt in the wound here with the Falcons. I'm just saying, let's just say the Falcons was to lose to the Commanders Sunday.
Okay.
You go down to the final week of the season, where it's Falcon Commanders at the Benz.
Okay.
Where it's Bucs Saints, think Bucs on the road. But the Falcons win that game at home, you're going to the playoffs.
Either way, you got your destiny in your own hands.
Either way, you kind of have your destiny in front of you, but you don't want to have that Falcons lose Sunday night, Buccaneers win, because you know what's going to happen next week with the Saints and the Bucs.
Correct.
Saints are not playing.
Correct.
You have to really lock it up this Sunday against the Commanders. You have to go in there and fight like it is that Eagles game week 2.
Yep.
Right? Like it is that Cowboys game week 9.
Right? Like it is both your lunch money.
Like they stole your lunch money, like they punched you in the stomach and they ran through the club. Like you have to go out there and really secure your playoff victory Sunday night. I can't wait. I can't focus on next week because I know that how bad that Saints team is. They're not beating the. They're not even. They couldn't beat the man. They couldn't beat Bishop Sycamore right now.
They couldn't beat UNC, which Bill Belichick is about to take over.
That team is bad in New Orleans. So if anybody's depending on, don't worry, just in case if the Falcons do lose Sunday or if the Carolina does win, no, let me tell you something. You don't want to get down to next week knowing that the Saints are that trash. And Carolina's at least trying to play spoiler. This is the Sunday to do it. So Falcons, go out there and get that win, secure that win like I know you should, like I know you will. This could be a big game. This could be a big win for Michael Penix in his second start. Big win on the road, Sunday night football. The way we saw Penix play the other day too as well, I'm sure they're not going to be too shy of the deep ball this Sunday. You got to air it out on Washington too as well. You just can't play short and sweet with these guys. Right? I've seen some of these games where they went down to the wire. Even on Sunday when they played the Eagles, I thought the Eagles had them beat. So you have to play all 4 quarters against this Commanders team. That is something I think the Falcons will do. Go out there and secure a win. Terry, Falcons come away with a win Sunday. Bucks come away with a loss. You start focusing on your playoffs, where it could be Washington coming to Atlanta. It could be Green Bay coming to Atlanta. It could be Minnesota coming to Atlanta. Terry, just your focus. I know there's 2 games left on the season, but let's just say we get to that playoff point. Who are you looking at right now to say, hey, this team could possibly end up in the Benz?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be Minnesota. It could be Washington. It could be anybody. Look, my thing is, let's just beat who's in front of us. It could be Green Bay. It could be anybody. Detroit still has to play Minnesota in that last game, so it's not a lock that Detroit is going to be the first seed because they have a lot of injuries on defense. They got a lot of injuries on defense. So they catch Minnesota at the right time. Minnesota could have the 1 seed, and you might end up facing Detroit. So the bottom line is, we just got to take care of the business that's in front of us. The one thing that's good about this team, there's not a whole lot of film on Penix.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a whole lot of tendencies. And what we saw, what we already knew, but what we saw last week is we have weapons. We have weapons. Even though Kyle was terrible, we were slinging that thing all over the yard. I think everybody had a reception, even Kyle.
Except for
we have weapons, and we got a defense, and we got a special teams that if you're not careful, we can steal 2 or 3 possessions from you. So this team seems to be peaking at the right time, right? Am I saying we're going to the Super Bowl? Not necessarily, but we can surprise some teams. We can sneak up on some teams. Look, this is the time you want to be peaking right now, right? I mean, if I'm every Falcon receiver, I'm excited to play this next game because I'm like, man, this guy can sling it. He was hitting guys wide open. They're going to be fired up. Washington's defense is not great against the run, so I kind of feel like you'll probably come out trying to run that ball. They'll probably come out trying to stop it. But an ideal scenario is you run it 55% of the time, maybe throw it 45%. You get your play action running. Guess what? If you run the ball, you also keep Washington's offense off the field. You win the time of possession and you win the game. Falcons got to come out and play all 3 facets. If they do that, I'm not afraid of any team in the NFL. Because we've only had that happen once, right? If we get all 3 facets, which is offense, defense, special teams, all clicking, all playing complementary football, we can beat anybody. So
you also mentioned some of the receivers who's happy to play this game too as well. Michael Penix, you have Drake London and Darnell Mooney, who's closing in on 1,000 yards this season. I know majority of them was due to Kirk Cousins. But still, the train keeps on moving here with Michael Penix. You did mention that Washington is not that great on run defense wise, but Falcons run offense the way they've been playing the past couple of weeks. I do expect them to give Bijan and Tyler a boatload of carries this weekend to help out with Michael Penix, to help out with that play action game too as well. Once again, a cold game out there in Washington for Falcon fans are going to be out there traveling. Please bundle up. Probably want to put some of those hand warmers in your shoes or your socks or whatever you can, because it's going to be one of those games. Hopefully it doesn't rain too as well. I know last time I was out there, it rained for that Washington game, so that kind of sucked too as well. Deshaun's in the chat. He says Sunday is our playoff game. I agree. I truly, totally agree that Sunday is your playoff game, and it's Sunday night football too as well for the fans that's going to be excited about that. Karina Atkins is in the chat. Said Merry Christmas, Falcon family. I'm ready for Sunday. I'll be in the building. Rise up. Karina, diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. You can definitely find her at the home games, away games, because she's just one of those fans that just loves to be in the building wherever the Falcons play. It's hard for some fans to watch the game at the house. I know a lot of fans do. They don't travel much. They don't go down to the Benz much, or they're not season ticket holders, and they do enjoy watching the game in their man cave or in their living room, or listening to the radio. Dave Archer and West Durham, big shout out to them too as well. But Karina's one of those fans, man. It doesn't matter where the Falcons are playing. You can guarantee that Karina's going to be there to watch her Dirty Birds. So big shout out to Karina. Falcon Commander is in the chat too as well. Merry Christmas. Let's get this 2024 NFC South title on deck. Go ATL Falcons, rise up Dirty Birds. Big shout out to Jeff Wolf in the chat. Big shout out to Lisa Shepard.
What up, Jeff Wolf?
Oh man, the chat is live and lit, man. Let me go ahead and get this screen down so I can bring some of these comments
I
up.
saw Vinny in there too. What up, Vinny? I think I saw.
Oh, the Falconator's in here. You know he's in here too as well, man. Big shout out to the Falconator, April Thomas, Ron Thomas. Big shout out everybody in the chat. Krinsman, Huntsman is in the chat. Remember when Aints fans were pounding their chest after starting 2-0? Let's go back to that, Terry. Remember at the beginning of the season? I know you remember some of these podcasts we were talking about, like, man, how are the Falcons, how are these NFL teams going to stop the Saints? They're scoring 100 points a game. What are we going to do?
Greatest offense ever. They're unstoppable.
They're hosting the Super Bowl and they're 2-0. What are we doing? Derek Carr is looking like the next Tom Brady. What are we going to do?
Saints, oh my God. They're great.
And then what happened?
And 16 weeks later.
Paper bag season for those New Orleans Saints. Anybody worried about them? Karina Atkins in the chat. Bandwagon fans are back on board. I'm with them, win or lose. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of Falcon fans who support this team 24/7 every day of the week, man. Big shout out to you all who continue to rep this team. I know there's a lot of fans that kind of gave up on the team too as well during the 4-game losing streak and Kirk Cousins' downfall. And we have no idea what's going to happen next season, Terry. I'm guessing the Falcons are going to probably make that move before March 1st that everybody is pointing at, that, you know, they can save a little bit of bread, I guess, with the, you know, letting go of Kurt or trading Kurt. That is, it's just, that's an off-season topic, Terry. I think it's going to take some weeks for us to talk about here on the podcast. So I just can't wait for the off-season to start, but we do have to get through this regular season here first.
Slow your roll on the off-season. Slow your roll.
I know. You know, we're not far away. I mean, shit. What is it? About a month away or so? A month, 2 months, close to the Falcons make this run.
Hey, it could be 2 months, and if it is, you know what that means. So let's just tranquilo, Jack.
Jeez, not tranquilo.
Relax.
Hey, it's going down in a major way, man. Falcon fans, Terry, let's go to Sunday night, right?
Right.
You have a team like the Washington Commanders who came away with a tight, narrowing victory over the Philadelphia Eagles the other day. And from watching some of the highlights, Jane Daniels definitely helped command that team to victory, man. And you have a rookie quarterback going up against another rookie quarterback Sunday night. What are some of the key things that the Falcons got to do Sunday to just get Jaden off beat, man? Because you're hoping that, of course, this quarterback doesn't have that much magic Sunday night at home, playing for that playoff push. This is a big win for them if they do come away with it. But I guess, what do the Falcons got to do, man, to just get him off beat, bro?
Vary their looks, vary your blitzes. You're going to have to blitz. Look, we've been blitzing the past 3 or 4 weeks. We got to get there. I think a large part of our success has been the realignment or the adjustments of our defensive line. They're not playing as far back as they would, which I don't know why they were doing that, but congratulations, they stopped doing it. Ebiketie is killing them. He's killing them out there. And I think we're going to get another 3 or 4 sacks. So look, we got to do what we do. We got to vary our looks. We got to blitz sometimes. Sometimes you send them. Sometimes you don't. We're going to have to keep him, basically off kilter, slow down the run game. And look, it's supposed to rain, so hopefully that will impact them throwing the ball. The main thing is we got to be able to run the ball to keep the ball away from them, right? If we can run the ball well, win the time of possession, and score points, we're good to go. That's how you got to beat them. Best thing you can do to an offense that's electric, keep them off the field. Keep them off the field. So if you win the time of possession battle, it's not enough to just score a touchdown. If you drive for 6-7 minutes and score a touchdown and then come back and get a 3 and out and then drive for another 6 or 7 minutes and score a touchdown, you really take time off the clock, but you limit the possessions that they get. That's what you want to do with a team like this. With a team that is high electricity and high wire, that's what you got to do. And you can't make any mistakes. You can't have any lapses. You got to communicate on defense. You got to do what you got to do. But either way, I think it's going to be a good game, man. Either way, I think it's going to be a showdown because the Falcons know it's their playoffs. And I got to think, Dan Quinn's pride has got to be there and got to be thinking, look, we're gonna see about it, Atlanta. I mean, he would have to, right? So they're gonna get after it, but we'll see. To me, that's what we got to do. You got to keep the ball away. You definitely got to keep pressure in Jaden Daniels' face, and you might have to spy a guy or two because you can't let him run by you. He's a heavy scrambler. The kid's light on his feet, so gotta do what we got to do. Those are my thoughts.
Definitely.
Jack. What do you think we have to do?
You're
Uh,
definitely right about that. Time of possession is big against the Commanders. I think Dan Quinn has found a way to, you know, get that team to respond, such as what he did here in Atlanta too, as well. His first couple years. I mean, the team was looking right when he was the head coach over here, but um, I expect this team to come away with an L on Sunday. I'm talking about the Washington Commanders.
there you go.
Of course, Dan Quinn has coached them up as best to his ability, but Raheem Morris, I think, has done a great job too as well. Um, and Raheem, every single Sunday, man, just always finds a way to fight. And this team has, they have that dog in them. You saw it the past couple of weeks here. Of course, after the bye, it was kind of like a slow start again with Kirk Cousins and, of course, what he was doing performance wise. But Raheem just never gave up on this team, man. You can kind of see it right here going down to the wire with the Buccaneers.
Mhm.
So I want to see this team get off on the ground early, running the ball. I think they did a good job running the ball against Minnesota too as well. The Raiders game, taking advantage with the Raiders run defense, and of course, Kirk Cousins didn't have a good game offensively, but Bijan did. And then of course you have this Sunday with the Giants with Michael Penix getting in there. Time of possession is everything. Clock management is everything against this Commanders game. This Commanders team Sunday night. Let's see, Drake London, let's see, he's close to 50 yards or so for 1,000-yard season. If you can get the ball out, 20, 30 times like Penix did the other day, you got to get Mooney, you got to get Drake in stride. Kyle Pitts, if you're going to, if you're not gonna fumble the ball, I mean, have the sticky hands this week, whatever it was, the greasy hands this week, man. We need a little bit more from Kyle this week. The last two games, going to the end of the season, and of course, if we make that playoff and have that run, we just need to see more from Kyle. But however they're gonna dial it up for him this weekend, it would be great to see. But defensively, we got to get after it. Got to get Jaden on the ground. He's known to extend plays. You kind of saw it against that Philadelphia team the other day. And you saw it earlier in this season against a lot of other teams. When you think you get him on the ground, he's not on the ground yet. So you can't have Jaden extending the play. And Falcons offensive line, you got to push up front because you still have some dogs in that Washington Commander front. You got to watch out for. I do see us coming away with a win. Terry, you said 35-20? That was the score you predicted?
That's what I said. 35-20. 2 interceptions,
Penix,
1 fumble recovery, and 4 sacks.
21. I'm going to go 21-17 Falcons.
All right, so let me ask you this. Are we at the point in time where Kyle's got to go? Let's talk about it. We got to talk about it, Jack. Talk about it.
So it's tough. It's a tough call for me. I know that moves will be made in the offseason. Some moves that fans won't like, some moves that fans will like. But so far, I mean, it hasn't really worked out with Kyle Pitts in Atlanta here. And I don't want to be the one to sit here and say, oh, he's going to be a Falcon next year, and he deserves another shot. And it's just been tough for Kyle here. Maybe a change of a change of scenery might help him. Wherever he may go, if that seems to be the case. But see what Travis Kelce did today, and to see what other tight ends have been doing across the league too as well. You want the best for Kyle here in Atlanta. But let's see what happens Sunday. Next thing you know, he comes with a 5-touchdown game, and everybody wants him here on Sunday. So let's see.
That's gonna be interesting, right? That because
it would. I mean, even a 5, 6, 7 catch game, 100-yard game from Kyle. Maybe they do get him active this Sunday again, and things work out. But is it time for him to go here in Atlanta? I mean, there's a couple players I think Falcon fans want. out of Atlanta after this season. So
Well,
Jack Spade's not going to be the one to sit here and call out who has to go in XYZ. That's an organization decision. But it's just disappointing that things didn't work out for him since that first Matt Ryan season where maybe if we would have had Matt Ryan early in his career, maybe been a little bit better. Matt's a totally different quarterback, but it just hasn't worked out here for him. I think he's had like 5 quarterbacks here in the past couple of years too. So
it hasn't. But
don't go to the Chiefs. Just don't go to the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. But let's say
he's going to have like a 10, 15 touchdown season.
Let me give you a scenario. Let's say he goes off this Sunday for 150 yards, 9 catches, 2 tutties, right? Let's say he goes off the week after that, 12 catches, 180 yards, 2 tutties. Let's say we win 2 games in the playoffs and Kyle goes off.
He'll be here.
We already have him signed for next year. We already extended him. Do you think he's still here if he does that? Like, can he still say
from your scenario, the way that you're talking about the end of the season now, when you really need it, right? And then you get a 100-yard game from him Sunday, 2 touchdown game. Next week he goes off, 10 reception game, 100 plus, another 2 touchdown game, get into the playoffs, deep stretch into the playoffs. He goes off. They're talking about him. They're bringing up the highlights. Kyle Pitts' first 8 games of the season versus Kyle Pitts' last 8 games. When you see those type of highlights, you're going to have fans saying, where was this all season? Right? And then you're going to have fans saying, they really don't care. They still want him off the team. But for me, I think that would kind of raise, a little bit more of awareness of, do you want him here on the team next year if you see him have this stretch over the next 2 games? And if you make the playoffs, then you have the other additional games. And if he goes off there, then what happens? But fans are still going to remember week 1 through 15. So they're not going to just, let this last couple games say, oh, that's going to determine if we want him here. I think fans are already kind of fed up with a couple players on this team. We're not the ones to sit here and say this and start being rude and disrespectful. This is going on like every Falcons community, like most content creators who've talked about Pitts.
Every chat.
It's always been they. You got to ask yourself this, Falcon fans: do you see him here on the team in the next couple of years? Right? It's not even just like a Jack Spade or a Terry decision. Same for Koo. Do you see Koo here on the team for the next couple of years? This is not a decision. Just because we have a podcast, we can talk about it. But you all have talked about it in your homes, in your chats, in your text messages, groups, Discords, whatever it is. You guys have mentioned those names here in Atlanta. I remember when you guys were mentioning Lorenzo Carter's name too as well. Like, you guys didn't want Carter here at one point. You guys didn't know what we brought him in for. He hasn't done much. You guys kept saying that. Like, that this is not a Jack Spade thing. But then again, I just sit back and just watch to see what the team does. And here on One Time for the Fan, we talk about it. Right? That's the cool part about having a podcast. Lisa Shepard, Terry, a little those in the chat, A1 for those content creators in the chat. Headline comes out, news comes out, things happen with the team and the organization, and we get a chance to talk about it on a professional level, just having a good time. Some of us are having drinks too as well on this Christmas Day. But having a good time, still representing the team, right? We haven't been disrespectful to any player or coach or even cheerleader or anybody. But when these questions do come up, it's important that we talk about it in a positive way. So, Terry, do you see Kyle Pitts here? Take away your scenario and just go through the end of the season of where he is. Do you see him here as a Falcon for years to come?
It really just depends, man. These next 2 games.
You hear this? Watch this one. Do you see Chris Lindstrom here for Falcon for years to go?
Without a doubt.
Okay, good. You see how easy that is? Do you see Bijan and Drake them here for years to go? All right, cool. See how easy that is? Now, do you see Kyle Pitts here? You see, it's a little different now.
I'm looking at my hand, and I don't know.
Which hand are you playing? Poker? Which hand are you playing?
I'm playing spades, and I don't know. I don't know that I can get you more than 2, Jack.
Who's your partner?
Oh, it's Jack Spade. It's Mr.
We're definitely gonna win. We're definitely gonna win. I can tell you that.
You're only with that question. You're only getting 2 books from me, sir. And it's more like one in a hook. It's more like one in a possible. It's a definite one, but outside of that, look it. I don't have that many spades. I got low face cards, and it's just ugly over here. Okay, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, look it. Maybe they don't find a trade partner. Maybe Kyle gets it together. I don't know. I agree with
You're
you.
gonna find a trade partner.
He really seems like a change of scenery guy at this point. I don't know what it is. I don't know. And this happens with somebody. On my show last night with Trey and Big Rich from the Water Boys, great show by the way. Big Rich compared um Kyle Pitts to Andre Bruce. Now, I'm not going to go that far because I think Kyle Pitts had a great season with Matt Ryan his first season. He was our only option and he was great. And Kyle has had his moments. He's just inconsistent. So I'm not going to say Kyle's terrible. He's just inconsistent. And a lot of times he's consistent
But
at
are
the
we putting also too much on just Kyle and not on the OC2 as well? Because I've seen some plays where Kyle was open and
well,
nobody looked his way.
I get it, but here's the thing, Jack, and you know this. 70% of the passes you throw, or at least 65% of the passes you throw in the NFL, you're just trusting that the guy's there. You're not going to see him before you throw it, right?
Also looking at the targets too as well. He's not getting Kelsey type targets. He's not getting.
You can't trust him. Like it. Look it. If you're the hot route, and we've seen this several times, right? And I'm not beating a dead horse, but if you're the hot route and you're supposed to run an out and up, or you're supposed to run a go, and you stop running, and I throw we've seen this happen at least 4 or 5 times this year. So at some point, I'm not going to look at because in my mind, you're not going to be where you need to be.
There was games where we saw a heavy dose of Tyler and a heavy dose of Bijan. And then there was games where we were sitting there saying, Tyler didn't even get the ball this game. Tyler only had 1 or 2 carries this game.
Right.
Is there a lot that you're putting on just the player, or is it more so the OC2 as well from whatever scheme they're going against? Because I've seen games where Kyle is just not even there's not even a play in the playbook for him. Then again, I've also sat there at games and said, Kyle's wide open.
Yeah.
This is Darren Kurt too as well. Kyle's wide open. He's open.
He's clearly pissed him off. All right. It's no secret. He has sparked the ire of the Falcons, and he may not be here this year because you get tired of saying the same thing. If I always got to tell you clean up your room, and you don't clean up your room, well, guess what? You don't go anywhere on the weekends because you don't. And I'm not even gonna look at your room now because I'm used to you not cleaning up. So you're just going to be grounded because that's the kid that you are. You don't follow directions. You don't do what I ask you to do, right? Who you are speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. Yeah, you might be open, but you're inconsistent. Oh, you ran the route this time, right? That's on Kyle. Now, if you want to talk Algier, that's a different story. Yeah, there's sometimes they just don't get Tyler the ball, and I don't know why, right? And I wish they would do a better job of that because I don't want Bijan to be Ezekiel Elliott 2 in 5 years.
They're not Ezekiel Elliott 2. I think they're going down that Zeke Pollard role. Where
no, I'm saying I don't want him to be overutilized.
Oh yeah.
And be spent in 5 years. I'd like to see Bijan here for 8, 9, 10 years, retire a Falcon. But as a running back, every time you touch the ball, it's like being in a small accident. So you really should share the load, right? Christian McCaffrey is a great running back when he's healthy. Well, why is he always injured? Because he's always on the field, right? So I'd like to see there be a little more balance with that. But you're right, that is on the OC. Like that's strictly.
It's just some things to watch for going to the off season soon. Not now, but we're watching it towards the end of the season. Is Kyle Pitts going to be here at the end of the year? What would the Falcons do come draft night for next season? Would they go left tackle? Would they go get a defensive player? I think they've already addressed, of course, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tied in with Kyle Pitts. Hopefully, we don't have another high tight end pick like that again. But look at, you know, Jake Matthews is coming to the end of his career soon, right? You got to look at some of those things. Um, we haven't had a pass rusher, I think, that Falcon fans can really rely on, every single down since like John Abraham, So would the Falcons go that route in the draft? I mean, Matthew Judon, would he be here? Justin Simmons, too, as well. There's a couple things you got to look at. Kyle Pitts, Koo. So, we're not the first ones to call some of this stuff out, but, I'm sure the people that cover the Atlanta Falcons are getting ready to get their stuff together when that time hits of what's going to happen with, the 2025 Falcons, right? So until we get to that point, we're going to, be excited about what the Falcons have going on right now. First place Atlanta Falcons going there Sunday night. Get that big win over the Washington Commanders. Let's go to the chat. Chat is live. Chat is lit. Chase Griner's in the chat. Big shout out to Chase. Georgia, Texas boy is in the chat.
Georgia,
what
Texas.
It do one time for the fan? Jack T. Will and Falcons family. The new era is here. LFG Atlanta Falcons. Terry?
Freaking go. Let's freaking go. I love it, man. We're in the Penix era. And I just think the sky's the limit, man. And look it. You got the kid for cheap the next 4 or 5 years. So technically, if you're going to build a defense and stack it up, now's the time.
Notice how I just went over to like the 2025 Falcons when that time comes. And then I just, have to throw in Kirk Cousins too as well. I went over Koo situation, Kyle Pitts situation, Falcons draft. If they will go cornerback next year, would they go defensive line next year? Would they go get a tackle next year? Jake Matthews coming to the end of his career. Bijan and Tyler, how's that going to work out? And then Kirk Cousins. So if you're sitting here thinking, I think next year we're going to be pretty cool, we have a lot to go over next year with this 2025 Atlanta Falcons. Zach Robinson as an OC, would he be here? Jimmy Lake as a DC, would he be here? I think Falcon fans are kind of on edge about, having both of those guys here in the building next season because, we was expecting a different outcome this year. I think the expectation was to outrun the South and, have that same 3-4 stretch, like how the, not the Lions because the Vikings are pretty close to them, but like maybe the Chiefs or the Bills, how they have their runs over the teams in their division. But, we're going down to the wire. I think we're still here as fans and as, of course, for the team, ready to fight to the end, So big shout out to the Falcons for where they at right now, sitting at 8-7. I do think they go in there and get the win against Washington Sunday night. Lisa Shepard's here in the chat. The Aints not beating the Bucks with Kamara and Carr out. They weren't beating them with them, truth be told. Yeah, the Saints are looking pretty bad right now. Georgia, Texas boy with happy holidays to all. Big shout out to Georgia, Texas boy. Let's see. Yuri's in the chat. He's probably at Maestro's, one of those fancy restaurants right now. I land in DC at noon on Sunday. I'm hyped. I really want to wrap up the division that day. Checking it from a Falcon fan like Yuri right here, flying into DC Sunday to go watch his Atlanta Falcons get the dub in a cold DC environment. Yuri, big shout out to you too as well, man. Go out there and rep with those Atlanta Falcons. Rep with the Rise Up Tour fan club. Terrell Johnson's in the chat. Merry Christmas, fellas. We've been having so much of a good time talking Falcons, talking Penix, talking Kyle Pitts, and going in there and beating the Commanders Sunday night. We forgot to mention again, Merry Christmas to all. There's a lot of Falcon fans jumping in the chat right now, leaving their comments saying Merry Christmas to all the fans in the chat. That's what One Time for the Fan is about. It's from the fan for the fan. Regardless if you're drinking tonight, if you're not drinking, if you're watching the, Lakers Warriors game, man, just enjoy the day, right? Spend some time with your family and friends. Terry, did you get a chance to watch the NFL games earlier?
I did not, sir. I did not. My family and I were up late last night. I think I went to sleep at 8 this morning. So I woke up around 3 o'clock and dinner started at 3:30 and we've had friends over. I did get a chance to administer some justice on the spades table. I did. And if you don't know, folks, there's a new sheriff in town. You don't want to see your boy on that spades table. That's all I'm saying.
Gosh.
I'm not bragging. I'm very, very humble right now. you don't want to see your boy on space table. So, you know how these young folks are. They come around and they slick at the mouth. And, I had to take these young folks to school, man. I had to let them know. I had to, hold on, young, hold on. I had to let them know. You know what I mean? I had to administer some justice because they thought they were going to come up in here and handle business. And I did to them what the Falcons are going to do to Washington on Sunday. I administered some justice. So I just thought I'd, throw that out there.
Hey, just a real quick shout out, man. Big shout out to the Jarrett family. Merry Christmas to the Jarrett family. Merry Christmas
Yeah.
to Auntie Lynn, to Tiffany, to everybody over there at the Jarrett family. Big shout out to D. Alford. Merry Christmas to the family too as well. D'Angelo Malone. Merry Christmas to Pooh, Mama Jack, Mike Malone, Ebony, Ashley, the whole family over there. Merry Christmas to all the Atlanta Falcons, man. Like, go out there, enjoy your day. Of course, big game Sunday night. So, it's going down in a major way. Falcon fans, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling great. I know Sunday, Terry, I'm not in Washington. So you never know what can happen here on One Time for the Fan. We might do a little live stream of the game. You never know. Hell, we definitely gonna do that Sunday night show. Sunday, we back and it went in full effect. Friday morning, Terry, we got breakfast at One Time for the Fan. We back. We back, baby. It's about to go down in a major way. Tyreek Johnson's in the chat. Zay in the bag. He said he's outside this Sunday. He's over there in that DMV area. I'm sure he's going to be representing at the game too as well. Big shout to Zay in the bag.
And Zay gets active.
Zay's active. Zay's active, man. Big shout to Zay. I gotta chop it up with Zay too as well, man. He's been working on something I know on Twitter. But I think, with the help of some other content creators and of course us here at One Time for the Fan, man, we can get this thing popping in the off season, man. So I got to chop it up with Zay. Big shout to King Rishi in the chat. Tyreek Johnson with the Merry Christmas in the chat. April Thomas in the chat. Pitts is trash juices from April Thomas in the chat. That is tough.
Sounds like Ron's influence.
That is tough.
Sounds like Karina. So April is Ron's wife, right? That sounds like Ron's influence. Trash juices. That sounds
Beard Gang is in the building, huh?
Beard Gang is in the house. What to do, Beard Gang?
Karina Atkins, we need to bring the energy Sunday to support our team like we did with the Raiders and Giants. It will be a tough game, but we can go in there and win. Let me go back to that Raiders game too as well, Falcon fans. I've been to a lot of stadiums around the NFL, man, and I've shared some experiences, from damn near 20-something stadiums, man. But let me tell you, to see all those Falcon fans in Vegas, that was amazing, man. That shit really felt like a home game, right? Even after the interception, when we scored, like everything about it felt like a home game. The halftime photo where we met up. And for those that did not know, man, my voice was already gone. So I was doing the best I can to crank everybody up during the halftime photo. And big shout out to Las Vegas PD too as well. After the halftime photo, walked over to me and said, we would have had a couple more 100 people, it would have been a problem. Because, it was over there. We had a lot of people over there and we tried to get everybody in one photo and then we start, doing our chants and everything. And, had a little joke with Las Vegas PD over there. So big shout out to King Richie. We already picked up his 5th-year option. So how that would work with Kyle Pitts. In the NFL, man, anything can work, man, if they don't want you in the building. But it's possible that, we could see a different version of Kyle Pitts coming shortly. Right? It's possible, right, Terry?
Anything is possible. Anything is possible. What up, BLB? Eric Parker, my brother. How you doing? Big little brother. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you had a great Christmas, man. Love you, bro. And hey, man, we're gonna kick them. We're gonna kick them Commanders' ass, Eric. I know you hear me.
William Amy said we need to win versus the Commanders. Big shout out to William Amy.
We're gonna kick
their chat.
DSGB. We're gonna kick their ass, DSGB. Just so
big shout out to Pastor Troy too as well, and Young Jock. Big shout out to Pam Jackson in the chat. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's just great to see all the Christmas comments.
Is that Auntie Pam?
I don't think that's Auntie Pam.
Okay.
No, that's not Auntie Pam.
All right.
William Amy is also in the chat. He said we need to keep Jaden Daniels' offense on the sideline.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we
Clock
do.
management, time of possession. You got to control this game Sunday. I know it's the second game for Michael Penix. Not so much of a hostile environment with Washington. Their fans are out there because they're winning. Washington's never been a hostile environment, so I wouldn't even treat it as such.
Yeah.
But if it's like Philly, Dallas, in this type of environment, a little bit different. So I think Penix, from being at Washington, of course, remember the Falcons went out there to go see him throw in the cold too as well. So maybe this could be that moment where we get a chance to see what Penix is about since that day, right? I mean, the Giants game, I already kind of figured was going to come in with a win against the Giants, right? The fans penciled that in at the beginning of the season as a W. Anytime you see the Giants in your schedule, just pencil a W in.
I'm interested to see Penix zip that thing 70, 80 yards, man. Like
You have to see that separation Sunday with Mooney and Drake and even Kyle. You have to get a little bit more active. Just Drake and Mooney alone is not just going to beat the Commanders. Not that defense.
No, I think we can beat anybody. Let me be clear. With the weapons that we have, especially if Kyle plays the way we know we can play, we can beat anybody. Let's be clear.
Does Kyle score Sunday, Terry?
Detroit on down.
Terry, does Kyle score Sunday?
Yeah, it's a question for Kyle. I mean, I look at. I don't know. He can. He can hold on to the ball. He can score. Look, Kyle can get loose, man. Kyle has the talent to do it. Will he do it?
They tried to get him Sunday for that quick pass near the end zone.
Hey, Kyle, if you're listening, man, go do your thing, Kyle, man. Look it. Don't worry about what happened before. Kyle, you're a Falcon, and that means I'm gonna love you no matter what. Look it, man. Just go out there and kick ass Sunday. Forget everything that's happened. Shut out all the noise. You go out there and kick whoever's ass is in front of you. You catch that damn ball and you run till they stop you. And if they don't stop you, Kyle, you keep going. That's what we do. It's on Kyle. But Kyle, I believe in you. I know you can do it. Let's
Falcons with a win Sunday can go 4-0 against the NFC East, Terry. Thoughts on that?
I think it'd be great, man. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be quite an accomplishment. We can do it. We can do it. We can look it. I'm serious when I say we can beat anybody because this team, with the exception of last week, has not had a complete game all year. So in a lot of ways, we're fresh. We're fresh. We hadn't fully competed all year. If we get a full game from offense, defense, special teams, look out. That's anybody. I don't give a damn who you are. Look out.
Because we got dominating games the Falcons had this season, dominating wins, were against teams that were already counted out, eliminated, so to speak, from even playoff contention, if anything. Because the Carolina Panthers back at, what was that, week 5 or 6? They was already done around that time. Falcon fans already knew that. Falcons got a dominating win there. And, of course, Sunday against the Giants, which, the Giants is a 2-win team. But there were games this season where you could have had a big dominating win. The Cowboys game, you could have locked that one up pretty early. You allowed them to come back towards the end of the game. The Buccaneers game, too, as well. You allowed them to creep in near the end of the game down in Tampa that time. Even at home, too, as well. We have to come away with a big win this Sunday.
You got to win. But guess what, Jack? It matters. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
It's how you finish. And I see the Falcons finishing off this season with this streak. Yeah. That's what I see this season. But I want to see the Falcons come away, like you said, offense, defense, special teams. Doesn't have to be a 20-point win on Sunday. I don't need a sloppy win on Sunday. This is a playoff game. In my eyes, this is like a playoff game. So I want to see this team go in there, defense going in there, 3-4 sacks. If you're getting them out on 3 and outs, if you're not letting Jaden Daniels extend the play, if you're making it tough for Jaden Daniels, that's what I want to see Sunday night. Right? So Falcon fans, this is big for us going against the Commanders. Big shout out to William, Amy, Zay in the bag, Karina Atkins, everybody here in the chat, Eric Parker too as well in the chat. I just want to see the Falcons go in there, handle business the way they should against the Commanders. This is a tough game, right? You had the past 2 weeks to go ahead and get those 2 cakewalk games out. The Buccaneers slipped up against the Cowboys. We called that one. I still think the Buccaneers slipped up against the Carolina Panthers too as well. The last time the Buccaneers played the Panthers, if it wasn't for Hubbard fumbling in overtime, they were getting ready to wrap that win up.
Yes, they were.
So I do see them coming out there and playing spoiler on Sunday against the Bucs before we play our Sunday night game. Falcons knowing before they going into that game, hey, we got this. This is our destiny right in front of us.
What a Sunday it's going to be, Jack. And look at, I just want to win, man. Let's just go. However we get it done, let's go in Washington. Let's get the win. Hopefully Tampa Bay loses. And look, in that last game, not that it's cupcake, but you have the Division I. You can play our guys for about, 3 quarters and then, let second string take over.
And it's the funny thing about it is because I'm listening to some of the post-game reports from the Ravens and the Chiefs and everybody, and they're talking about sitting players next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about the Steelers scoreboard watching to see what the Ravens score is and other teams score to see if they're going to pull Russell Wilson in the second half. And I'm sitting there thinking, damn, Terry, it must feel good to just know that you're going to the playoffs, right? That you're going to get that shot, right? I was hoping you get down to this point with Kurt where you would play Penix around this time because you outran the South, right? You can afford to play Penix this game against the Commanders. You can afford to play Penix next week against the Panthers. You can rest your starters at half and be prepared for your home game. That's what I was hoping for this year around end of October. But of course, every Sunday is different. Falcons.
The Giants won with the backup quarterback in was 87. Look at it's we're here. Let's make the best of it. We're here. The most important thing is we still have a chance and we control our own destiny. If we win out, there's nothing anybody can do about it. We're win.
That's true.
Right?
That's
so true. The main thing is we got a shot. Look at last year, this time we knew we knew we weren't getting into the playoffs, and if we did, we knew we weren't going to do anything. This team has the potential to turn some heads, check some collars, and surprise some people. There's
so many players on that team deserve this playoff shot, Terry.
Yeah.
Grady Jarrett, AJ Terrell, even Kyle Pitts.
Ellis.
They deserve this moment.
Yeah, Caden Ellis deserves it.
I'm truly excited for this team to go in there Sunday night and just beat the brakes off the Commanders.
Yeah. How about Drake getting in the mix last week, man? I love
that. Was great to see. For those I was watching the One Time for the Fan on Instagram, you guys saw the reaction because I was right there on the sideline. The camera, my phone was pointed right toward Drake during that reaction when he was on the sideline. So for those that saw it, you guys can see what happens on One Time for the Fan's IG page. Like, we're right there. The sounds, the sights of the game. Like, there's things that NFL Fox won't show. We're showing it right there on the IG page. So for those that was sitting there watching, you saw Drake's reaction. He fought that. Remember a couple years ago when Aaron Donald picked up Freeman with the Undertaker pose with just one of those like Mortal Kombat moves. You saw Freeman's feet like 10 feet off the ground. Nobody came over there to help him out.
Nobody did anything.
I wanted to see the fight from some of these players on Sunday after that possession right there. And sure enough, I saw it. Drake was fired up when we walked over there to the sideline. He didn't care if the Giants had 2 wins or 10 wins.
He didn't give a damn.
Fighting for his team out there. That's what I'm talking about. When you're sitting there watching these Falcons play, man, that's the fight you want to see. I don't care who started. I don't care who caused it. To see the fight from Drake London. And then his reaction on the sideline was clapping it up, telling the fans to get loud.
Drake is no punk, man.
Drake is your – I think fans can say that draft pick worked out well.
Oh, without a doubt.
You would want Drake here for years to come.
Yes, you would.
So that draft pick worked out well. Bijan Robinson, that draft pick worked out well. The Terry picks have worked out pretty well, I must say.
Yeah. Yeah, Bijan.
Even Ebiketie is giving your fighters chance to say, will you keep him here long term?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's more an indictment on. Look, Ebiketie has 5 sacks in 3-4 weeks.
But when he gets that motor going in game, pressure rates,
That's
he is on point.
That's on the defense coordinator. I don't know what they did. I don't even know if Jimmy Lake's calling is making the calls.
That seems like something personal with Ebiketie. I don't think that's just more like DC work and behind the scenes work.
No, but you okay, Jack. I look it. No disrespect to any of the Falcons, but you can clearly see that they are doing something different in every game coming after the bye. And the question is, why didn't you do that before? Why did it get to that point? You get what I'm saying? Why did it get to that point? You get what I'm saying? Like we have the most sacks in the league coming out of the break. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah. And this is the defense you need going into a playoff. Absolutely. If you're going into the playoffs. That's a fierce competitive defense where teams going to say, holy shit. Even the Commanders on Sunday are going to say, you guys better get after it on that O-line. You guys better get after it back there in the wide receiver room because Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, these guys are going to eat. AJ Terrell, you can't even throw it to his side. Terrell Island is alive right now.
What I'm saying is Ebiketie, as far as I'm concerned, we've seen what he can do. It's not him. You get what I'm saying? So that's another pick you can book, right? Algier. Was Algier picked by Fontenot?
Algier was Arthur Smith. That was yeah. Yep.
You sure?
Yeah. No, go back. I think Tyler Algier, yeah. Tyler Algier was let's go. Tyler Algier, yeah, 2022.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep, 2022. Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
The 5th round 2022 draft. Yep. Mm-hmm. Grace 1,000 with Arthur Smith, and of course the next year they got Bijan, remember?
Yeah. All right. Well, look it. I think Terry's done a great job. Number one, Terry got us out of cap hell. People just seem to have forgotten that we were $45 million over the cap, and he got us out of that. And then he signed Caden Ellis. Look, Terry Fontenot's done a great job. Now, again, we got to make the playoffs because everything hinges on that. We have to make the playoffs. But I think Terry Fontenot has done well enough to be re-signed. Will he? I don't know. But I think he should be because I think he's done a great job. Now, Jimmy Lake, that's debatable. That's what's going to be interesting.
That's the thing about the offseason.
Yeah.
That when it gets to that point in time, why one time for the fan is going to be here? There's so much stuff to go over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
OC, DC, Terry Fontenot extension, a coaching staff that's going to be in the building leaving, coaching staff that's going to be, new coaching staff members going to be here, players that's, in the building now that won't be here next season, it's going to get down to the draft. Like everything is just going to be moving at a fast pace when the offseason starts. But until we get to that point, Falcon fans, we're enjoying this. First place, Atlanta Falcons. Big game Sunday night. We keep mentioning that because this is your big shot. This is the playoff shot right here. It sucks that it has to be Sunday night against the Commanders, but you want to be in the playoffs? You want to be where the big dogs play? All right, you got to go in there and handle business. But Johnny R is in the chat, Terry. What are your thoughts, Justin Simmons' impact in this game? He's got to be as impactful as Jesse Bates, right? He's got to be over there. The same thing we brought him in for, to help control that secondary, right? Jesse Bates has done a great job the past couple of seasons here, but he needs some additional help, right? And now that we got Justin Simmons in the building, we've seen where, their chemistry has gone the past couple of weeks. And I think against Jaden Daniels, against a rookie quarterback, you have to make it uncomfortable for him when he throws the ball down the field. Of course, Sam Darnold kind of had his way against our secondary earlier this season, and Geno Smith too as well. But it comes to those times where big players step up in big moments. And Justin Simmons has been in this position before, and Jesse Bates has been in this position before, where these are meaningful, impactful games, and they know they have to put everything on the line to help this team. And I do think that those two guys are two of the best you want in the secondary to help guys like AJ, Clark Phillips, D. Alford, Caden Ellis, and some of those other defensive guys that you have in that front. But I need to see, them being very active Sunday night against Jaden Daniels.
Got to get
I
after
know
it.
Jesse. Say again.
I said you got to get after it. I agree. You
truly do. You truly do. You saw what Jesse Bates did against Drew Lock the other day against the Giants, right? Mm-hmm. You saw what he did against Desmond Ridder the other day, him and Justin Simmons. So Jaden Daniels has to look and say, those two guys, you got to be careful throwing that deep ball. And if Jaden Daniels is in that position with Dan Quinn and the rest of those guys in the room saying, hey, look, those two safeties, they mean business. Then that's good. You want to try to keep everything in front of Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates, because I trust in guys like AJ and I trust in guys like Caden Ellis, where if you give them enough time, they're going to get back there to the quarterback. So Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates are just a big part of that unit that's going to go in there and help that defense come away with a commanding win Sunday night over the Commanders. Terry?
Yeah, what about Matthew Judon? He had a great game this past Sunday. Had an interception.
That's a 2025 conversation too as well.
Had a pick six, had a sack, and again, I think we get into the playoffs. You really got to watch out for this team.
Yeah.
Because quiet as it's kept, if we hit our stride with the guys we got, hey man, this team could be a defensive juggernaut.
The funny thing is, it's possible you could play this team twice in the next 2 weeks.
You could
play them Sunday. Things shift, things happen last week of the season. Falcons win the division, and here come the Commanders to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. It's possible you could play them twice in the next 30 days. Mm-hmm. So go in there like it's a playoff game. You can't go. You can kind of tell the Giants, and this is what I wanted to say the other day about the Cowboys too. Terry, I think I did mention it, where we wanted the Cowboys to beat the Bucs, and I said it. Teams that are ready to tank and give up on the rest of the season, if the Cowboys came out with a lead, they were going to beat the Bucs. Mm-hmm. Players buy into that. Mm-hmm. Even if they know they're not making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're winning 10-0, right? We're winning 13-7, right? We're winning 16-9, right? Versus, hey, we're down, like you saw today. I mean, the Texans got beat up pretty bad. But if that was the Cowboys against the Bucs on Sunday, there was no fight from none of the players. If they were down 3-17 in the second quarter, there was no comeback from the Cowboys. It wasn't happening because the players are not buying in no more. It's the end of the season. It's done. You saw even down to the wire, Bland and Parsons, some of those guys, they knew they're not going to the playoffs.
But they fought.
But they wanted to play spoiler. They fought for the pride of that logo Sunday night.
They fought. Let me tell you something.
They fought for that star Sunday night.
What a play to have the presence of mind to, you know what? Maybe you did get the first down, but I'm going to take it away. This game's over right here. What a play.
To let them even get back into the game and still fight to try to get the win showed that them players had a little bit of heart.
They did.
And I got to say, for those that's sitting there waiting on next week and, hey, maybe the Saints can beat the Bucs. That ain't happening.
Right.
I'm telling you, when you look at some of these teams don't have the morale to go in there. They're going to do all the highlights before the game. They're going to clap it up. They're going to do all their little dance and celebration. When the game starts, they're getting blown the fuck out 24-0.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. But the Cowboys last week, I said it. Now, the Panthers, this is the funny thing about the Panthers. And I know I've been talking crap about them. But the Panthers really want to show not only for their coach, but for Bryce Young,
they're playing hard.
That we're gonna play hard.
They're playing hard,
right? Some of them guys realize, hey, I have to put some shit on film for
Yeah,
another team next year.
yeah, I need a job next
And I
year.
need to go out there and need a job. And then there's a couple teams. You saw the Saints. Let me tell you something. The Saints the other night against the Packers, that was embarrassing.
They were
That
putrid.
was players that know the season is over. Cancun is calling. You can see it from the moment that they snapped the ball to the moment that they ran. Everything about the Saints just read Cancun.
They
So do
had no,
not expect that team to go in there next week and beat the Bucks.
they were all out of you know what's.
Pam Jackson just mentioned it. You can tell the atmosphere of our team was totally different. Even her players, when they dropped the ball, apologizing to Penix, and Penix apologizing to players about passing of the ball to them. I believe we can take this, but we've got to fight from beginning to end. Come out like beasts and don't stop. Let's go Falcons. Big shout out to Pam Jackson in the chat. That's what the Falcons have to do on Sunday. But those Panthers Sunday afternoon, that is just a random game where you're gonna look up and say, "Holy shit, the Bucks are losing again." It's possible, but I'm telling you, Falcon fans, don't expect these teams, if they're already out of playoff contention, if their season is over, to come out the first quarter and second quarter, if they're down 13, 14 points, to just try to finish the game strong. They're done. So if you see the Bucks already leading 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, game's over.
I don't know about
but
that.
for us, we got to handle business. We have to handle business.
I think we do have to handle business. Let me state that you are 100% correct. But I think these I think these Panthers are going to fight tooth and nail, just because they did win. They've been on the precipice of winning. They won last week. Now they're going to try and build onto it. And I think they just may beat the Bucks, because the Bucks are injured. The Bucks are beat up. Okay, and their heads have got to be spinning, because they had to think they had it, and then all of a sudden, on some fluke play, the game is over. So the Panthers could win it, but either way, we can't worry about that. We got to do what we need to do against Washington. We got to go in there and take care of business, man. And look at this team. The sky's the limit. This team can do anything. And I know I sound ridiculous saying that, but we're only 8-7. We're 8-7 because we underperformed, because we have the talent to be 11-6. This is a 12-win team. Okay, we didn't get it done. Fine, I get it. But bottom line is, we have talent on this team, and we got a guy right now, a quarterback that can sling it. We're making the right calls on defense now, and our special teams is playing well. So if we keep that up, guys, we can beat anybody. Look, we could go into Washington and beat them 38-0. We probably won't, but we can. So I'm not afraid of Washington. There's no team out there that I'm afraid of, because our defense can win us games. Our special teams can win us games. Our running game can win us games. There are multiple ways in which we can win. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Terry?
Yep.
Former ATO Sports, man. Y'all doing a great job over there, man. Big shout out to you and the gang. I know you all do podcasts. Shoot, 1 a.m, 5 a.m, 10 a.m, no matter what time it is, you can always catch Terry talking Falcons or talking Hawks. Braves getting ready to kick back up in a couple months too, as well. I know you're gonna get ready to talk about the Braves.
Yeah.
And of course, when the Atlanta gets a hockey team, I'm sure you're probably gonna be talking hockey too as well.
You never know. You never know. Look, I have to brush up on the rules, but hey, I got buddies of mine that love hockey, so hell, I can just bring them. Hey, let's talk about it. So,
hey,
yeah,
I will say this is great to have Terry here on One Time for the Fan. 2025 One Time for the Fan is going to be amazing, man. More special guests, so much that we've been working on too as well. We just want to say thank you all for everybody who's been supporting One Time for the Fan. And of course, you see the success of former ATL Sports One. Terry has been really giving the fans, just the overtime when it comes to talking about Falcons. I know there's a lot of fans that want to talk Falcons at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Sometimes after a game. Sunday night, after the game, I'm sure, Terry will be going live again, and that's probably around like the 11, 12 o'clock hour. Monday mornings, the Victory Mondays, Terry too as well, talking Falcons. So for my ATL Sports, big shout out to you guys over there. But with the success of these podcasts, we want to make sure fans are enjoying this, because we have mentioned the offseason a couple times tonight, because it's the end of December, right? It's Christmas Day. And we do know that, football is going to be coming to an end soon. So we want to make sure fans know that One Time for the Fan is going to be here every step of the way, talking Falcons football with you all. The Sunday night shows at 8 is still a go. Our Wednesday shows at 9 o'clock is still a go. And our Friday morning shows, Breakfast with One Time for the Fan, is definitely a go. But for my ATL Sports, in the meantime, in between time, they have their shows too as well. Terry, what is your schedule looking like? I'm sure 2025, you're going to kick off the year with some jam-packed things and ideas for fans. But what is your schedule right now for my ATL Sports so the fans can know where to catch you?
Right now for my ATL Sports One, that's the number 4. My ATL Sports, the number 1 on YouTube. We're typically 7 p.m. on Friday nights and Monday mornings at 8. Um, and I'm about to introduce a Saturday show. That's basically going to be numbers driven. What did my brother say? If you ain't on fire,
LVB's over here trash talking.
EXB. Ah! Oh wow! Oh, shots fired! Oh, shots fired! You know what? I got nothing else, man. He took me out with that one. Okay, all right, little brother. Shit, what was I saying? Yeah. So anyway, Friday nights at 7 p.m., Mondays at 8 a.m., and we'll have some other things coming. Obviously, we get into the Hawks, we get into the Braves, probably some sort of daily morning show. It might be a recording, but just 20 minutes to update you as to what's going on. And hey, man, we continue to build and we continue to grow. And of course, we partner with Mr. Jack Spade and One Time for the Fan. And, it's just going to keep being greater, man. So, it's been a great 2024. Thank you to everyone who subscribed to One Time for the Fan and for my ATL Sports One, and for that matter, for Beard Gang as well. Look, we love it. We love talking about Falcons. We appreciate you guys coming. We love fellowshipping with you, and we just want to continue this thing for as long as we can. So that's about it, man. Other than that, to everyone in the chat who joined it, and are we doing shout outs now, Jack? Is that what we're going
Yeah,
on?
man. Go ahead, brother.
All right. Tim Riley, the Alabama Dirty Bird, supports you guys and has tried helping to pass the word. The Amazing Falcon Show, rise up, Dirty Bird Nation, diehards for life. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that,
Hey,
Tim.
we really appreciate it, Tim Riley. I'm telling you right now, Tim Riley, what we have planned for One Time for the Fan. I can't wait to share with you all. It's going to be just delivering content on a level where you guys really enjoy it. I know you guys have seen other content creators, and they're doing a great job day in and day out, putting, um, hours and days of work into a lot of these projects and things that they're doing, and they're just raising the bar in the Falcons content community, which is great because the Super Bowl is going to be here soon. We're going to win one, right? And every one of these people who talk about these Falcons, every one of these people who put on this Falcons gear and get out there in those streets and rant and rave about the Falcons and travel to these games, your time is coming where you can enjoy that Super Bowl trophy. I know it's going to happen soon. And it's fans like Tim Riley, it's fans like Eric Parker and William Amy and Lisa Shepard and Carrie and so many of you all that continue to support this team. Go to work and take care of your family and everything you got to do, pay your bills, but you continue to support this team. And I guarantee you, our day will come where we're going to get our ring. So yeah, Terry, the shout outs is still
Hey,
on
Jack,
you. But
let me
yeah, our 2025 One Time for the Fans is going to be amazing.
let me ask you a question. Falcons win the Super Bowl, and I know you're going to take your shirt off and storm the field, and then you're going to go to jail. Once you get out of jail for that month, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do?
I tell you, man. Hopefully, I'm out of jail before the parade.
Hopefully so.
I'm gonna be very upset. But I'm gonna just. I'm not even gonna talk shit. Like I'm just gonna feel good. I'm gonna read. I'm definitely gonna read. Decorate the whole man cave, whatever I got going on at that time, because you got to add some Super Bowl stuff there too as well, right? I mean, it's only right. But we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate being a Falcon fan for this long. Might travel, might book a trip and go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I won, you know what I'm saying? Like I was on the game, like I played in the game. You know what I'm saying? Hey, a fan needs to
80 on the run.
travel.
You
A
just won the
fan needs
Super
to have
Bowl.
some
Where you
vacation
going?
time too. You
Right.
know.
You're 80 on the run. You just
Um,
Super Bowl. Where are you going?
I'm definitely gonna take some time off. I'm not just gonna be focused so much on work during that time, but I'm probably gonna take a couple of days off. Probably book a trip, you know, and just enjoy being a Falcon fan during that time of just we've prayed for these moments. I used to pray for times like this, you know what I'm saying? Uh we've waited for these moments for such a long time. And when the Falcons win a Super Bowl, I think everybody deserves a day off. Every
Goddamn right.
Falcon fan deserves a day off, man. You know, don't know where y'all working at in the city or what job y'all got, but I know my job won't. They won't have a problem with it. They're gonna be there. As a matter of fact, they already know. Don't even call Matt. He's probably not coming to work all week.
Yeah,
Um,
fuck knows I'm not coming for a week. You already
my jobs know that. They definitely know. Do not call me.
yeah.
Like I am not going to be the one to show up at on time. I'm going to be at the parade, whatever event the Falcons have. I will be there. And if I want to add a vacation to it, I will too as well. Because hey, I fought that battle too. I wasn't on the field fighting the battle. I was off the field. But all them
Hey
I
man,
fought
I was
that
with
battle
them.
too.
I was with them.
I was with them every step of the way. Strength and honor. Strength and
Strength,
honor.
strength and honor indeed. So
Strength and honor.
me personally, I can't drink anymore. Not like that, obviously. I had the 2 heart attacks, so I can't do that. But I will have a drink. I will drink some wine with with my parents' ashes.
Mm.
My brother has one. My brother has my dad. I have my mom. We'll get them together for this one moment, and we'll have a drink, and we'll be in the moment. We enjoy it. And then my other brother Eric Parker and I will probably go on a fuck you tour to every fan who ever talks shit about the Falcons. Every head. I got long memories, and I'm coming for you when we win. Watch out. Watch
I
out.
tell you this now, the FU tour, when I go on the road with the birds, oh, that's where we start ring checking. That's
And to
where we
that
start ring
point,
checking.
in that month, the month we win the Super Bowl, I'm going to New Orleans with my Falcons jersey.
Terry, I'm telling you right now, if you haven't planned already to go to New Orleans next year, man, this teal's got me fucked up. If you haven't planned already to go to New Orleans next year, Terry, you better plan to go to New Orleans. Let me tell you something. Everybody in this chat, I'm telling y'all the truth. Everybody in this chat, y'all. If you're watching, if you're listening, y'all know what we do with the Rise Up Tour fan club, right? Everybody's always asking, man, Jack, what game should we go to? Terry, you've asked me this too as well. If you had to pick one game
Mm-hmm.
to go to, away game,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm telling y'all gotta show up to New Orleans, man.
Yeah.
Y'all got to show up to New Orleans. You talking about just hanging out, having a good time, partying with friends and family, casino gambling too as well. This year I would have to say was Vegas. I think Vegas topped it all.
Oh yeah.
With of course, you know, with just the experience of just being in Vegas.
Yeah.
But
From what
there's
I
one
heard,
city I can recommend every time the schedule drops. The first city to book is going to be New Orleans. Now, next year, we got San Fran, and San Fran's going to be pretty difficult for those that's traveling to San Fran. Of course, we have our people on the ground over there that's trying to get everything situated now. But where are you going to fly in for San Fran? Because that stadium's in the middle of, you know, like the San Jose, like San Fran area. So you're going to drive a little distance too as well. Arizona, I would recommend because Arizona is just amazing. Everything about Arizona outside of that Cardinals team is amazing.
mm-hmm.
But New Orleans, I would definitely recommend. Terry, yeah, man. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Got to take care of some stuff. But
Good man.
your
That
full list of shout outs, what do you got, T?
All right, full list of shout outs. Number one, Merry Christmas to everybody that I've done shows with this year, obviously, including and first and foremost with Mr. Jack Spade. But Merry Christmas to my crew, the Beard Gang, C Dub, Ronnie Thomas, uh, Ladarius Brown and his band of renown, Lisa Shepard, Tiffany Raines, Jabri Harper. Merry Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas to Chris A1 from day one, my guy. Shout out to you, brother. Always there. Always appreciate you. Gotta give that to him. Smitty, Berto, Big Low, Uncle Steve, and the Water Boys. Shout out. Bryce Lewis. Shout out. Um, and I think I got everybody. And if I didn't, I'm sorry. Everyone in the chat, thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Enjoy yourselves. Uh, Thankful for you all. You guys have been there for me. This has been a tough year. I had 2 heart attacks. My mama died. You were there for it all. I cannot thank you guys enough. I appreciate you. There is so much love and respect that I have for each and every one in this chat, and I thank you guys, and I appreciate it. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to, and damn it, Carrie, I'm such an idiot. But I was getting okay, no, because I was getting around to one time for the fan. So what? But thank you, Crimson Huntsman. Thank you to Carrie. Now I feel bad. Carrie's gonna be like, "Hey man, what's up?" Carrie,
Carrie's
Bodie,
a she got it. She's with us.
Carrie and Bodie, shout out to them as well. Always there. Carrie is always providing information for us, always going hard every day, 24/7. Doesn't matter. Always giving us the updates, giving us the funny, giving us just, I mean, wouldn't you agree, Jack? Like the best producer in the world.
Carrie handles business, I must say.
I will take her up against anybody. So thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Bodie. Um, and again, just appreciate you guys. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate that, man. I got to thank God. Wouldn't be here without him. Appreciate him. You took me through this year. Thank you. Put people in my life who've been there for me, present company included. And again, thank you, God. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And Jack, it's on you, sir.
Hey, don't forget Rise Up Tour members. Check your emails. I'm sure Thomas has already put something out already for this week. For those that's heading to Washington, y'all have a great time. Definitely bundle up. It's gonna be a cold, Terry, rainy day. Has the
It's
percentage
rain.
is one up now? Is it like 60-70% chance of rain now?
Yeah, I think it was gonna be a low of 52 tomorrow. I think, although I think it's gonna be lower than that, but it's definitely gonna rain. It's definitely
Okay.
gonna rain.
Falcon fans is heading up there. Definitely bundle up. For those in the chat, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Y'all see what One Time for the Fan is about. It's a couple new folks that's up in here tonight, some new Falcon fans. Um, jump in the chat and talk Falcons. That's all we do. Positive group of podcasters here. We want to see the team win. We talk about all the good things. We know about all the bad things, and we do mention those too as well. But we're not bashing any player or any team or any organization. We're just here to talk football, right? And we just have a good time doing it. I think everybody's enjoying One Time for the Fan because everybody keeps showing up to the podcast whenever we go live. Hitting 1,000 subscribers this year was great because we all did it together. We do it going live. For those that do not know, like we don't put out too much pre-recorded content. Fans have asked us for more of that. We're going to get to more of that. I'm sure that this time away from work for me too, as well, has opened up a lot of my creative side again. To make sure One Time for the Fan is going to be good in 2025. I'm sure for my ATL Sports, Terry's always thinking of things to make sure that the podcast over there is running smooth as well. And of course, I had a lot of times to sit back and look into my stocks again, which is great because anytime you get a chance to look into stocks, things kind of work out in favor of what I'm doing. But yeah.
You look happy about those stocks,
Oh
Jack.
yeah, of course. It's a good time of the year. Eric Parker knows this is where I dropped that Yoda sipping that coffee in the chat. Yeah, whenever you see that Yoda gif, yeah, Yoda's making money. So yeah, big shout out to everybody here that's tuned in for One Time for the Fan. Is from the fan, for the fan. As you can see tonight, everybody's enjoying being in first place. They do know it's a battle down to the wire here with the Bucks and of course the Commanders Sunday night. But everybody here believes in that team. So big shout out to you all. Big shout out once again to the Falcons. This is the reason why we do this. And the Rise Up Tour fan club. I can tell you right now, 2025, we've had our conversations about what we're going to be doing. And I'm just letting you know right now, like if you thought what we did so far in these past 7 years was something, Just wait till you see 2025. Of course, we're going back to San Fran, Arizona, New England, New York. And there is some chatter, that we could be playing somewhere else. I think people are kind of, looking at where the Falcons could end up next. And, I think if we put one and one together, it's possible we could be overseas. But if that happens, hey, Razzle Tour fan club will be there. If it doesn't happen, we're going to be there regardless. Every away game, we put on something. We make sure fans have a good time. Every fan that showed up to the party in Vegas, to the New Orleans event, to the Carolina tailgate, to the event Tampa with the Bucks crew, everything. Philadelphia, the watch party for Georgia. I think it was Georgia, Kentucky. Can't remember. But thank you all. You guys just been amazing this entire season. But we're not done yet, right? Falcons going to go in there and handle business Sunday, but we're back Friday morning. We're back Friday morning with breakfast one time for the fans. So grab your breakfast. Any leftover ham, go ahead and heat it up. Get ready for Friday morning with us, and we'll talk some Falcons football. Get that dressing. Whatever you going to do, go ahead and do it. But we will be back Friday morning to talk some Falcons football. And once again, Terry, thank you and everything you got going on over there. Carrie as well, an amazing producer for One Time for the Fan. You guys see her on social media, always positive about her team. And she's always repping the BPE. So big shout out to Carrie. Big shout out to Bodie too as well. I know he has a lot of stuff going on in his life. And he's also working on a project. What's up, Terry?
What penalty, sir? You said it. I hate to do it. But
I said it in honor of Carrie, though.
You still said it, sir. And them's the rules. I don't make the rules, Jack.
Sheesh.
Okay? I look on myself last week.
Damn.
Jack. Okay.
We gotta talk to Carrie about that and see if Carrie allows that. Because I said she's repping that. Like she reps the B. Hey, Geek Ruffin said it.
Unnecessary use of innuendo on Jack, and he knows better.
Oh my gosh!
He instituted the rule.
We're going into 2025 here soon, Terry.
Jeez, man.
We still got to think of something for the damn Superman chat. We're over here giving each other penalties, and taking taking yards away. We got to think of something for the Superman chat. We've racked up.
Let's put it out to the fans. Put it out to the fans. You guys come up with something.
People are donating to the Superman chat, and we have nothing. Like Steve them have the song, and Country has the like Terry. We have to think of something for the Superman chat.
Fans, guys in the chat, give us suggestions on what you think we should do when we have a super chat.
We were doing the damn Kirk Frost dance, and then you know what happened there.
Yeah, we don't do the Kirk Frost dance anymore. We don't.
The do-rags. The do-rags. Every time we get a Superman chat, we put the do-rag on.
I mean,
no.
Okay.
No, that's not gonna work.
Hey, I'll do it. Look we're doing it. I think if the Falcons win the Falcons win. On Monday, we're all wearing do-rags. This is going to be funny. You should tune in for, if nothing else, to see T. Will and his fat head in a do-rag.
You got to fold up the do-rag too in the back. You got to fold it up.
Bro, I used to have hair.
You got to show the hairline is still solid in the back. You got to show the hairline is still solid.
I don't have hairline. I don't have hair.
We're not talking like the hot. Like we're not talking like the Dipset do-rags, right? We're talking like wave cap style. Like you know what I'm saying?
I used to have waves back in the day. I don't have them anymore, but I used to.
There's always one time you mentioned on the show where Terry had hair. That should be the new segment coming up when Terry had the hair. When Terry had hair segment.
Oh, you know what? You might be onto something. I don't know if it's the Tito's, but I like it. I do like it because you know what? We could go back in time. We could go back in time at moments in my life, and we could tie it back to what was going on with the Falcons. See what I did there? Keep everything Falcons. I like that, Jack. I really do.
Hey,
I think we should flush this out at another meeting, but I do like it. I like it.
Fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. One time for the fan, from the fan, for the fan. Big shout out to you all. Friday morning, we're back talking Falcons football. Big shout out to my crew, MB Rovers, too, as well, man. We won 2 tournaments in the past week. Going for a third tonight. This team is stacked. My esports team, man. It's a big shout out to the homies, man, over there at Rovers.
Are you online tonight?
Yeah, 12:30. The next hour and a half. We're in the West Coast tournament tonight.
I might be able to make one game. I got to get up.
Yeah, man, it's going down, man. We're fucking. I don't want to curse, but yeah, we're balling. We're balling on a whole nother level.
Drop it in our chat, and I'll probably catch it for like maybe a half because I got to get up.
Yeah, 12:30. We run at 12:30 tonight. So I mean, it's the holidays, and a lot of West Coast teams are playing tonight, so they want to run the West Coast late night. But fellas, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here one time for the fan, from the fan, for the fan. Terry, we'll see you Friday morning, 9 o'clock.
Rise up.